Yo, what is up to everybody and welcome back to the channel. Now today I'm going to be doing an oil change on my 06 Acura RS6 Type S. Now this should work on any model from 2002 to 2006 Acura RS6 Type S model. Now I'm not quite sure on the regular base RS6 model. I think the base RS6 model takes 4.8 quarts, not sure. I know the Type S model takes 5 quarts. So the filter, the oil filter is probably the same, but I think, you know, it's a slight different engine, so the quarts, the oil quarts wise will be different too. So on my car, I do oil change every 3,000 miles. The reason behind to that is, well, one, it's a race car, and yeah, it says 5,000 miles, but I hear from lots of other people that they do oil change every 3,000 miles on the Type S model. So that's what I've been doing it. So enough of me talking, let's start doing oil changes. Now the tools and products that I'm going to be using today will be a 17mm shallow socket, or you can just use like an open end wrench to just, you know, loosen the drain bolt out. Also I'm going to be using, I don't know if I'm really going to need this, but you never know how, you know, tight the oil filter is. So this is a claw to take the oil filter out, and this is the oil filter that I'm going to be using today. It is a Mobil 1 M1 110A. So yeah, I've been using this oil filter since I bought the car, and it's been working great, so I'm gonna keep using it. And of course, you cannot forget the most important part is the oil. It is a full synthetic oil, 5W30. So yeah, and this is a 5 quarts jug, so it's perfect what I just needed. Also, I already got my car jacked up in the air. So the jacking point on this car, I put it on the frame. You can also put it on this pinch rail right here. That should also work, but I like to be on the frame. That's just kind of my style. And that was the front, and for the rear, there's no frame going through, so I'm just gonna put in the pinch rail right here in the back. So yeah, that should work out. Alright, so now moving on, this is what my engine bay looks like. And the oil filter cap will be located on the top here. It says 5W30 SAE 5W30, so I'm gonna take that off. Sometimes it is hard to take it off, but this time it was very easy. And I also like to pull this oil snake out when I drain the oil. That's just kind of my style that I always do. So right now, so I am underneath of my car, and this right here is your oil drain bolt, and this right here next to you is going to be transmission. So the oil drain bolt will be right here. This is the oil pan, the drain bolt. So you're going to be lefty loosey, unloosen that, and the oil will come out. Alright, now before I drain, I always prepare a rag because it's going to be a messy. So just so letting you guys know. First, I'm gonna let the drain bolt loose. Let's lifty loosey, righty tighty as always. Push it. There you go. That's loose. Get your oil pan ready. Alright, I hope it doesn't shoot fast. There you go. It's pretty black, but I don't see any shavings and stuff, so that's really good. So while you're draining the oil, and if you flash a flashlight or light on it, and if you see some shavings, then that's not a good sign. Your engine's gonna die soon, so make sure you pay attention on that while you're draining your oil. I don't know if you guys can really see it or not, but looking at from this angle, my oil looks very clean, so that's a good sign. Okay, if it starts dripping like that, you can just plug your drain plug back in. Ready tighty. Nice and smooth, so that's how you know that my drain plug is not stripped at all. And when it gets tight, you gotta tighten it with the ratchet. Now this one, you want to be really careful with it. You just want to hand tighten it very gently. 30 foot-pounds of torque is good if you have a torque stick, but I got used to it, so just hand tight like that, just like that, and you're done. Now after I finished up draining, I'm gonna try to find the oil filter. Now the oil filter, that's the drain plug. Now the oil filter is going to be on your right side, on the top right there, right next to the exhaust and the axle shaft. So front axle shaft, so yeah, right there is your filter, the black one right there. The claw and the wrench up there. Get it in there, boy. One-handed is very hard, but you get the idea of it. You just try to take this filter off.
3 days later.
Okay, so finally I got this thing loosened up. Man, that was tight on there. So now let's loosen up the filter. Drops the oil. Oh, there you go. Comes the oil right there, baby. So yeah, just gonna let it drain for a little bit. So let it sit like that. The filter's kinda still on, so Alright, so as you guys can tell right here, it was so hard to take the oil filter off. That's how tight it was on. Man, what I always like to do when I do oil change, I like to put a little bit of oil, probably halfway for this car, on my oil filter, just like that. So it spill right on the side, and I'll put it around in the gasket. So you guys can see, just like that, just lube it good around that gasket. So yeah, there you go, just like that. Oh, I took out the old oil filter out. I'm gonna install the new one in. It is sideways, so it's gonna be really hard. Just like that. And that's on there. Make sure it's hand tight and you're all good. As you guys can see along here, there's the oil because I just took an oil filter. So what I'm gonna do is clean it down with the brake cleaner. Always gotta clean it. Alright, now after you drain the oil and plug it back up, and you also took out the filter and installed a new filter in, now it's time to put the new oil in. Now the oil that I'm going to be using is 5W30's full synthetic oil from Mobil 1. I'm not sponsored by them, but I always use this oil and it's always been good for me. Going in 5 quarts of oil. Ooh, bartender. And after you're filling the oil back up, put the cap back on. Yeah. Some tight dipstick back in, and you're all good. And after I'm filling the oil back up, I'll always like to check the coolant level. So my RS6 Type S, it's a blue coolant. For all Hondas, actually, it's all blue coolant. It's kind of on the low side, so let's fill this up with the blue coolant. Alright, so I fill up the coolant. It's on the max line right there, as you guys can see. So it's all filled up. I'm golden. And that's how you do an oil change on my 06 Acura RS6 Type S. Now if this video was helpful, please give me a thumbs up, and if you're not subscribed to my channel, make sure to hit the subscribe button because there's more build coming for my RS6 Type S, so stay tuned on that. Other than that, if you're subscribed to my channel, you already know what's coming. Peace out and stay thirsty, my friends.